If I'm not overthinking, if I'm not dreaming, you're not listening. You are asleep, and I keep talking off the monologue, and I keep talking off the monologue, and I keep talking off the monologue, and I keep talking off the
Welcome to Off the Monologue. I'm your host, the Welsh kid from the block, though if you're family or friends, you'll know me as Erin. In today's episode, we will be keeping on topic of sports, and I will be talking about one of the well-known sports that gets linked into Wales, and that will be none other than rugby. This episode is just anything and whacking things. No, in all seriousness, anything and everything to do with rugby. So that ain't gonna be linking into the current season because I will be a bit behind. But also it will be talking about past games this weekend. Oh my god, I managed to turn my mic right up. There we go, you're gonna get that audio now, guys. But also gossiping teams or just players in general. So I just wanted to let you know though, because this is all pre-recorded, so by the time this comes out it's going to be a bit behind. No more games would have been played, etc. But I also, can you believe this is the third episode of Off the Monologue? I'm actually being quite good at being persistent on filming and editing these out and getting these out every Sunday. So that's really good for me. So, whoop whoop, let's give myself a round of applause. But yeah, in today's episode, we will be mentioning the WRU. Dragons are playing really well. Scarlet should be the team to go. So that's all, them three are going to really link into the WRU. Same with the topic EPCR, one of the series. Well, not series, like title, championship thing, you know? One of the competitions they're in, basically. There we go. We'll also be mentioning Joe Marler and Traitors, because oh my god, Joe was amazing in that. We'll also be mentioning Alfie's story, for you who don't know Alfie, better known as Gareth Thomas. We'll also be mentioning Alan Wyn Jones, in MasterChef. We'll be talking about Wales vs Africa November game 2024, so the game I went to. We'll be talking about the Women's British and Irish Lions tour, where they'll be going on tour in 2027. We will also be talking about Ospreys buying Cardiff, so that'll also go into the WRU topic. And that's all the topics I've got written down. I'll probably go talking into club rugby as well, so that'll be quite interesting, and maybe bring up a bit more of women's rugby, because the only women's rugby I got on here is the British and Irish Lions 2027 tour. So let's get in, but before we start the topic, let me take a drink because I'm thirsty. Oh, there we go. So WRU, what is going on? At the minute, it just seems like they don't know what to do, because obviously regional rugby is crumbling. Not enough people go into regional games, wanting to get rid of a team And all the sounds of it, they're getting rid of Ospreys, even though people want the Dragons to go. But I think Scarlets should go. But then it's like, do they know what they're doing? Because what appears is they don't know, which is a bit thing. Because it's like, in absolute shambles, there's protests going on. Ospreys have sent out a statement, or the Ospreys players are sharing a statement, like saying, why should we go? We shouldn't be the team to go. Which honestly I agree with. Ospreys shouldn't be the team to go. If anything, Scarlets. Because then, even though people would say Dragons, I gotta disagree obviously because I'm a Dragons fan. But honestly I think it should be Scarlets to go. Because if we look at the PCR table, in the tables, top 10, Scarlets are not be seen in any of the 3 tables. But Dragons, Cardiff are not. Cardiff and Ospreys are. Cardiff 3rd, Ospreys 4th, Dragons 4th. But then Scarlets, where are they? You know? Like, so you can just see it should be Scarlets to go. Because in their UCR, Scarlets are at the bottom, then it's the Ospreys, Hollywood Sharks, Seabird, and Dragons. But then Cardiff are up in the top 10. So then, shouldn't it be Scarlets to go, if you know? But also, it's like the funding with the WRU. Where are they putting all this money? Because it's not going into regional, to the point you're getting rid of a regional team. If you can't fill the Principality when it comes to Wales games, international, where is all this money going? Because it's clearly not working with regional. You got tickets through the roof for international, so then so many people wouldn't pay for it. Like, I was doing research with me and my parents, £300. Like, we are not paying £300 to go and see Wales. I can go down to my local rugby club, Blackwood RFC, and I can get in for free and watch the Griffins. And honestly, half the time, that's a bad game. So, where is this money going, WRU? Because they don't do quite well with club rugby. Like, my team recently, the Chargers, had the final. It was the road to the Principality. Same with last season as well. Road to the Principality. And it's the under 18s. We had to play in Llandovery. That's not the Principality. You said to us, this is the road to the Principality. Why are we not playing in the Principality? So, it's like, they're really confusing, and you're just like, what am I supposed to be doing? You know? So, they are very confusing. Scarlets, underperforming, should go. And please don't be up in my comments saying, no, this is my opinion. Don't come at me. If you think Dragons should go, Scarlets should stay, good for you, mate. I feel like I'll leave that. I'm gonna mess around. But, Carl, okay, but like, Dragons are performing better than Scarlets at the minute. Okay, we had 2 players picked for Wales and, like, Ospreys going. You're like, WRU need to imagine this, right? What 2 teams make up most of Wales? I'll let you guys think a minute. Have a minute to think. Nope. Cardiff and Ospreys, they're making up most of the Welsh squad. So then you need to think Dragons and Ospreys shouldn't be the ones. No, Ospreys shouldn't be the ones going, because they're making up most of the Welsh squad. And also, why are you making Ospreys by Cardiff? What's going on there? You know, it's like, what is going on? It's like, we need to, they don't even give a lot off, so then it's like, us Welsh are in the dark, like, what is the future of Welsh rugby? What is going on? What do we know? Are we ever going to be back in our prime era? There we go. I had to make sure I said that right. But then it's like, are we ever going to get back there? Because most of our players are now jumping over to England, and probably when Ospreys go, Dragons all the Ospreys players are going to go over to England, because they're going to think, what's the point in going to another Welsh region if you just screwed us over? They're going to have all that uncertainty of if the other regions are going to go as well. So it's kind of like, where do we go from here, you know? So it's kind of like, we're going into the unknown, basically. Next I want to talk about, though, let me get comfy because my back is just aching. But Joe Marler and Traitors. Oh my god. I loved him in Traitors. It was just phenomenal. It really brought his character out way more as well. Honestly though, because I'm not a massive TV person. Yes, I got my TV app, whoa. But like, when it comes to like TV shows, I tend to binge watch more of shows I've already watched. So like, I like to rewatch The Big Bang Theory, The Goldbergs, Young Sheldon, Gogglebox, and Peaky Blinders. That's the sort of thing I watch. I will rewatch. Same with like Britain's Got Talent, you know. I'll watch that every year. But when I saw the announcement of Joe Marler gonna be in Traitors, I was like, I need to watch. Joe is the funniest guy ever, so I was like, he's gonna be amazing on this. I hope he's gonna be a traitor. But he was a faithful. But he done so good as a faithful though, and it really showed Joe, and he was onto them traitors. Like, I don't know the word, but it's like he was really good, and it really got to show people who don't watch rugby Joe's character. Him with Joe, so Joe and Joe together were amazing, and I can't believe Joe said, "No, you Joe, you're a traitor." Joe Marler was never a traitor. I was gutted, but honestly, I think Joe would have made a good traitor, but he was still good as a faithful. It was nice seeing him as a faithful. You just put all the skills that you could use from rugby into it, and it was really good. So I can't wait to see what he comes to next. You know, so hopefully he does more shows like that, because I loved him so much. It just got to make the public see what Joe actually is like off the pitch, you know, in a completely different setting. So it was really good. That's all I gotta say on that. But now, one topic I will be able to talk about for ages is Alfie's story. For those of you that don't know, Alfie, Gareth Thomas, was a Wales rugby player, by the way, if you didn't know that. He played for Cardiff as well. He was in the era of Mike Phillips, Jamie Roberts, James Hook, Gavin Henson, and Shane Williams. That was Alf's glory days. He retired from international and I think all forms of rugby, if I remember, in 2009. 2009, this is the key point, by the way, so listen out. 2009, Alf splits from his wife, and then, so like, got divorced, and then to the whole nation, to the whole wide world, came out as gay. He was the first international rugby player and any sportsman, I think. Definitely know in rugby he was. Other sports I'm not sure, but came out as gay. I think he was the first sportsman to come out, and he had the biggest amount of massive support of the whole of Wales, and we were like, good mate, good for you. That doesn't change your performance, you know, but then you made it his mission to make sure there's no stereotyping. Like, it doesn't matter if you're gay, it doesn't matter what you are, as long as you know how to play rugby and you're good, it doesn't matter who you are. And he had the amount of support of everyone ever, and it was honestly great to see in Welsh rugby the amount of support he had, and that fans didn't turn away and didn't hurt the fact that he was gay in front of how he played, because honestly, Alf was an amazing rugby player. He was one of a kind. That's why he's my favourite. Because honestly, he played really well. But then 2019 came around. Yeah, he came out again. But not like, I changed my sexuality. He came and said, look, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've got HIV. Now, for you, all of you think, oh no, AIDS. That's the first thing you think about when it comes to HIV. But he done it so he could tackle the stereotype of HIV. Like, look, you only have to take one pill. If I touch you, if I tackle you, you ain't gonna get her off me. I only have to take this one piece of medication, and then it won't turn into AIDS and that. And he started a campaign called Tackle HIV, which is spreading awareness about the disease and educating people on it, so then there'll be no stereotype and no stigma around the topic at all. And by doing this, he made it his mission to do the Ironman in 10B. And before doing this, I need to remember, because I've read the book, seen interviews, so I need to try and remember, because I don't want to spread any false information. And by doing this, if I remember correctly, he didn't know how to swim before doing this. So he learned how to swim, trained really hard for months, and completed it. And he done a whole documentary on doing this with the BBC. Pardon me, so I'll make sure I can find the whole thing on YouTube, and I'll link it for you guys in the description so you can watch it, because it goes into a bit more depth than me and really shows a bit more. And the reason I wanted to bring up this story is because it shows that it doesn't matter what diagnosis or your sexuality, who you are, you can go on to do really great things. And it just shows you that no matter what, it doesn't matter diagnosis, sexuality, what you're into, what sport you do, you can be the best of the best, you know? You can be who you want to be and still achieve anything in the world. And I think Alf is a great representation of this and should be a role model for so many people, because you can look and go, oh my god, he's a great rugby player. And his ability on that pitch, the ambition and charisma he had, just showed who he is. Also off the pitch as well, where I've heard he's a really nice guy. And it just shows that if you don't put what the internet says, you don't put what other people think in your brain, when you get to know the people, it really shows that everyone else gets the wrong idea. So what I want to say is, don't judge a book by its cover from just what you heard, because our story is a great representation of don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge him because he's gay. Don't judge because he has HIV. Because that doesn't represent and doesn't define who he is. And them labels don't define anyone. That's just their life. That's what they're living with. That's just their preference. What does that got to do with you? So it's like, push past that. Get to know the person themselves. Educate yourself so then you get to know them and you put the stigma and stereotypes away to one side. And that's what people need to do more, because this day and age with social media, stigma and stereotyping has just gone way really more worse than it was back in the day. Like, don't get me wrong, like when it was HIV and AIDS first came out in the 1980s, right? everyone's like, oh no, I'm gonna get it, only gay people, da da da. That was like really big stigma and that, because it was like that advert thing. I'll find that advert and put it in the description. But it's like, stigma and stereotype is always gonna be there, but you can dial it down by educating yourself first, you know? And that's why I wanted to bring Alf's story up, is because he obviously is a rugby player, so I got to mention it in the rugby episode, but it also teaches you guys that don't stereotype, don't follow the stigma, don't follow the crowd of thinking of the stigma and stereotyping. Always educate yourself, and then by educating yourself, you can educate others. Because by me, when did I get Alfie was my favourite rugby player. When I was 12, I started getting back into rugby, discovered Alf, and I was like, right, he's a really good player. Started doing my research and found out because obviously I already knew a bit about HIV and AIDS through Freddie Mercury, because the Queen is my favourite band. And then I educated myself a tiny bit. Didn't do a lot. I was like 11, 12 when I first got into Queen and Alf. And then I found out Alfie had it. I educated myself more. Asked for his book, Proud. Found out that he had it. And then, funny enough, ended up just naturally turning into a conversation into my house. And we had a full-blown conversation about it. And it was really natural. And that's what he wanted to do. That was Alf's goal. By saying he has it, he wanted to start that conversation. And he did in my house. And I bet he started the conversation in many other households as well. And that's what my podcast is about, in a way. I want to bring up topics to hopefully start a conversation in someone else's household instead of shutting the topic down. And that's why I wanted to bring up Alf's story, to then mention this, to go, look, it doesn't affect you. You don't need to judge a book by its cover. So hopefully, by you guys hearing me talk about Alf's story, you can start the conversation in your house and get rid of the stigma around the topic, because HIV, anyone can have it. Not just anyone in the LGBTQ, straight people, me, you watching this, anyone can have it. So please, just educate yourself before spreading false information. Even if that's starting a conversation in your house, doing a post, talking about it on the podcast. As long as you start in a conversation, we can spread awareness. Some people may be stubborn and just keep in their ways and keep in their thoughts and won't listen, but many people will take it into consideration and then will educate themselves a bit more after the conversation. And after my household, when we had the conversation, after we were talking about Freddie Mercury, talking about Alf, and then we went on to the topic of the stereotypes and the stigma of HIV and AIDS, and we were on about it. We were on about the movement, on about the march, and we really went into depth, because my parents in particular did not know you can take one tablet a day and it'll stop HIV turning into AIDS. So I educated them. They gave me a bit more information, educated me. So in a way we were educating each other, if that makes sense. And by doing that, we all had enough awareness, enough information on it, you know? It's why have it? Many of you are thinking, why have the conversation with a 12-year-old? It's better off having it with me when I was 12, when I was already had an awareness about it, than having it later on now as a 17-year-old. Because I wouldn't be here talking to you guys about it. But yeah, that's our story. So please just take the story into consideration. Don't judge a book by its cover. And just educate yourselves, basically. Now, this next topic, I don't have a lot of research on, because I don't watch the show. I don't watch anything to do with bacon. I think I just don't. People try and get me to watch Great Great British Bake Off, but I don't watch it. But this next one is Alun Jones, Master Chef. So when I found out, I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch this. I haven't. But apparently, this is why you always have your laptop on, you guys, so you can just see what's up, what's happening. Alun Jones, there he is. Don't want to know who his wife is, because that's none of my business. Master Chef. Ooh, you made it right through to the final. Yeah, so Alun Jones, by the looks, 2025, so last year, Master Chef, he made it right up into the finals, and he was runner-up. It was the celebrity one. It was in December. He lost to Ginger Johnson. Who's that? Ginger Spice? I don't know. I don't even know her last name. I don't even think her name is Ginger. He impressed judges John Turd and Grace Dent. I don't know who they are, but he reached the final three against so which is really good to see. Like, it shows rugby players do more than just playing rugby. Like, look at Alf, then look at Alun Jones. He was runner-up on Master Chef. How many rugby players do you see are good at cooking? You know? So that just shows that, what dishes did he do? Let's Google. What did Alun Jones cook on Master Chef? I need to get rid of all that text. Right. Let's do, what did Alun Jones cook on Master Chef? Oh my god, you guys saw that then, right? Oh my god, I gave myself a mini heart attack then. I got so many wires under my desk. Oh, that would have ended up in a disaster. Oh my god. Right, so let's see. I got her up here. Alun Jones. As for his main course, steak and chips. I swear every man makes steak and chips. That's my dad's go-to meal to make in my house. Oh, do you want steak? Do you want steak and chips? Steak and salad? Nope. I'm not a big fan of steak. Or burgers. Like, I swear that's like every man's main dish they know how to cook is steak. Please tell me it's not just my household. Because I swear every man's main go-to dish is steak. Because my uncle does it as well. So it must be a man thing. See, I'm stereotyping it. I'm stereotyping men when it comes to cooking. Oh my god. Anyway, and then for his dessert he made roasted banana trifle. I've never heard of that before. A roasted banana trifle. I've heard of a banana split and a raspberry truffle, but roasted banana. Who would roast a banana? Girl! Who would roast a banana? Anyway, he also made coronation chicken stuffed semolina sphere with a potato swirl. No clue what that is. Then as his signature specialty, roast turkey. You can't go wrong with a turkey, I'm gonna be honest, but like, roasted banana trifle. What's a roasted banana trifle? I'm not Googling. I'll Google after, but like, a roasted banana trifle? Huh? What's a roasted banana trifle? I'm so confused. I'm confuzzled now. A roasted banana trifle. Whoa. I'm gonna move on from that because, as you can see, I'm just utterly confused. What is a roasted banana trifle? Like, hello? What the helly? What the helly, auntie? A roasted banana trifle. One more time. A roasted banana trifle. What? Anyway, Wales vs South Africa. We're gonna move on. Wales vs South African game. 77-0. Wales lost terribly. It was expected. But oh my god, we almost had a try. We were this close. It was right in front of me. And then the ref was like, no, no, no. Bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye. But like, I got to see Faf fighting. The thumb in the eye. The thumb right in the eye. Oh. Me and my friend Phoebe, we were just chanting a lot and getting our whole zone chanting. Because we were in the family zone, so it was alcohol free, and that obviously we wouldn't be able to drink anyway because we were underage. But it was a good game. It was just fun. The atmosphere was better than my first game I went to. My first ever game was Six Nations 2024, Wales vs Scotland. We lost by 2 points, but the Green Goblin was there. That made my day. The atmosphere was shocking, but the atmosphere in the Wales vs South African game, Springboks, was really good. Me and Phoebe, Emily was just sat by us, just taking pictures of goats. Me and Phoebe are doing a full ash chant. We started, because we didn't like the ref. He was being really biased. He was not good at reffing. Every ref, the referees against Wales, is really biased. So we didn't like him. He was French as well. So, same stereotyping again, but the French referees are just not good, alright? Okay, no ref is ever good when it comes to Wales. So we started going, I'm blind, I'm deaf, I want to be a ref. And we kept chanting that over and over to the point we got our whole zone to start chanting, I'm blind, I'm deaf, I want to be a ref. To the point the two guys in front of us started laughing and going, oh my god, that's such a good chant, and we couldn't stop laughing about it. We kept going, and yeah, and then obviously at Seabass started fighting, and then all you hear is me. I started going fight. Phoebe started doing it with me, and we managed to get quite a few people. We had kids by us and behind us. They started chanting, so we were kind of a bad influence, and that's with our bad knees, right? We weren't injured, on crutches. And when Wales scored, we were like, oh, and we're half standing, and the guy looking at us started laughing, going, please don't do your knees in now. And honestly, we were chatting with the guys on that. It was really good. We may have lost, but it was a good day, like a good day out. We were talking with the guy. He was on about how the referee was bad as well. We agreed, and we kept going, clock it. To the point at half time, before this thrown out, we felt really bad for this. He googled, he went, what does clock it mean? And we were like, oh, lovely. We didn't mean to confuse him. It was just like, he was on it. We're like, yes, clock it. Just say it, queen. Say it, girl. But honestly, it was a good game. We lost, but you saw that we did have the momentum there a bit. So it was an improvement, but we lost. I had an argument in my TikTok comment section about the game with a South African, but I was like, girl, it was good. I found Phoebe as well when we were in the street as we were seeing the coaches go past, and I fell. Instead of trying to fall on Emily, I fell on Phoebe, who was also on crutches, and we were like, oh my god, only I could try and fall on her, like, oh my god. But last topic I got is the women's British and Irish Lions 2027 tour. Oh my god, I actually can't wait for that though. It should be really good. Because honestly, women's rugby has risen. YMCA. Sorry, I'm reminding myself of that then. But yeah, it's gonna be, I can't wait. I'm really buzzing. I can't wait to see how all the girls play. I really hope Cecilia Topalutu gets picked. She's amazing. Same with Kelsey. I hope she gets picked for the squad as well. I think they're going on tour, if I remember correctly, New Zealand. And then I think they're doing a bit of Australia, but I think it's primarily New Zealand. So I'm really excited. But that's all I've got to talk about. I don't know what else to talk about, but yeah, this has been Off the Monologue. I'll catch you in the next one.
If I'm not over